Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome for the first time. I hope you'll stick around with us. Right, so working on our third and final part of our paper bag journal, and she's naked apart from a little bit of decor here and there of just some stamping or stenciling. I can see it there. Look, we've got a fairy, and yeah, we've got these lovely bits and bobs. I added a little angel in blue because everybody deserves an angel in their life, don't they? So there's ours. I've finished the little one, and I'll show you all that later. What I've done is I filled the pockets that we had originally with like all these ones that I'm showing you now. I've filled them with ephemera, and I've added some additional pockets. Now we had these from our 12 by 12, so we're good to go there. And I'm just going to add a couple of pockets, make a few tags and that, and then we'll be all good to go. So, how are you all? I'm hoping that you're all very well. I've sorted out on a tray here different papers, and I've got some napkin. I think I might use them on some tags. But we want a couple of pockets, and of course they don't have to be blue. I have got a lot of blue things. I've got some purples here and that, and I've also got beside me what's it called? What is it called? What am I trying to say? Oh, some other smaller little pieces of paper. That was it. So I really like this, how it comes, and it's got this lovely scalloped edge, but it's too wide, but I really like it, but I don't want to lose one of my scalloped edges. It could go at the back here just as another little kind of semi-hidden pocket that we could use. I don't know whether to put a little bit extra so it's not so flat, like a little gusset. I think I might. So, let's see. Because I don't want it too thick, the gussets. I could use some of this thin paper. I think that might be the way forward. And we're just going to put a couple of little folds. And I won't use this. I'll find a bit that is completely scrapped. Well, I've got a bit that's the same thickness, same quality of paper that was out of a very similar paper pack, and we'll just cut a couple of pieces so that we've got something to work with, making our pocket have a little bit of a gusset. It's not got to be too much. And yeah, it will only take us a sec to do, but it will give our pocket just a little bit of depth that we need. Right. And another bit. Okay, I want that bit thinner. Oops. Right. And we'll just score those. So yeah, I hope you're all well. Christmas is fast approaching, isn't it? So I hope you're all ready. I'm loving going out round to my daughter's and that right now, because my house don't feel Christmassy enough. It don't feel Christmassy at all. So yeah, I am loving being out and about. That is completely wrong. Let's grab that bit of paper again and cut. Right, so I'm just going to score. I can't even talk. at the same place on each. I'm counting in, I'm going 3/8 of an inch, just so that we've got the same depth, and we can just give our pocket a little bit of extra give. If we come in here, I'm going to have to take a little bit off. Let's measure that. Yeah, just the tiniest little bit off of the bottom, because we don't want it poking up and you seeing the gusset at the top. And so also I want to miter the tops, and we'll do the bottoms just to, sorry, I'm doing that over there to get them in the bin. I'll do it here, we can put them in the bin after, because we'll just take in the corners off, and we'll get a bit of blue ink. You definitely won't see the bit at the bottom, but I've just done that. But you could possibly see the bits at the side. You probably won't, but we'll just get some ink on them anyway. So yeah, I hope you're all well and surviving the Christmas rush and getting all your preparation done. I'm going to go and stay at one of my daughters on Christmas Eve, so that we can prepare stuff together and put the bits out for Santa and that. I know some of you don't celebrate Christmas and that, so I hope you're surviving the hustle and bustle without too much stress to you, because yeah, if you don't celebrate Christmas and you've just got to put up with all the hustle and bustle, it must be a bit tiring for you, because you're putting up with all the all the stress that everyone else puts up with and none of the benefit. So yeah, I do hope you're surviving it okay. I've received a lovely card this morning and a little crochet, what's it called, Christmas tree. Yeah, where's my card gone? Oh, there it is. From the lovely Saskia. Look at that. She is Malasas on, I think I'm saying it right, on Instagram. She's such a talented artist. She does beautiful work. Really, really inspiring. I've been packing a few bits of stuff that I don't use, like ornamental stuff and that, in this room over the last couple of days. And yeah, I've got a lovely piece of original artwork that she sent me for my birthday, which is just fabulous. And yeah, I received that this morning, and so thank you, my darling. It's so appreciated. I feel terrible I've not sent out any cards, because life's been so hectic, and I always make them every year, and I kept leaving it, like well, not getting round to it over and over again, and then now it's too late. But yeah, I've had so much on. So all my list, like, because all my customers on Etsy and everyone, I've got a big long list of cards that I had to make, and yeah, I haven't got round to it, and it's too late now. But what I will probably do is send out little Happy New Year kind of cards, like little cards of something for people for 2020. I'll probably do that, so you may see something in the post in the new year, because yeah, that's better, you see, and it's got that bit of give. It's not loads, but it's just not flat to the page, because we've got our gusset. And I just wanna go in there and make sure it's pressed down. And over here. Sorry, just at my head on there like that. But yeah, I was just making sure our little gussets are pressed down. So we've got a nice deep pocket there now that we can work with. Right, let's put this here. And I just want to do a couple more. Not too many, because like I said, well, in the beginning I said this journal was going to be for me. Well, I've changed my mind now, but it's not going up for sale, nor is the Binky one. I'm really close to 300 subscribers, and so what I'm going to do is do a little giveaway. And I thought these journals are perfect for storing your ephemera, trying out new ideas, or taking notes, you know. But if you wanted to try out, like, you've got a new idea for a pocket in your head that you don't know how it's going to turn out because you've not done one before, but you'd really like to, then I thought it would be a good idea that, like, maybe like in an exercise book, which is basically what this has come out like, isn't it? It's a bit like an altered textbook. It's just that I've made the inside myself. But yeah, I thought that'd be a good idea to do that. So, oh, and also my friend Kathleen had the brilliant idea of, she was saying how much she liked the little one, and she said, wouldn't it be a good idea to store like your favourite quotes or something like that in there? So I thought that was a really good idea too. So I'm putting a few pockets in, and I'm going to put a bit of ephemera in, and then the rest will be down to whoever receives it, what you want to do. So I'm just marking at the top here in pencil so I know where to cut, and I'm going to make a tuck there. So yeah, I thought that was a good idea that she had of ways that you would use this kind of journal. Right, so we'll just get some ink around the edge, and yeah, I thought that is a way that I would like to use one like this. I have got a little one that's full of like positive affirmations and nice quotes and things, and also things that just lift me up, like personally. It's very personal to me. It's a little tiny one, and it is the first thing I ever really made in book form. Oh, I've got some bits and bobs. Do you know what, that's come off of that? Right, no, I know what I'll do with that page. Look, can you see I've got some little tiny bits, because this is molting, that's come off on the page, and I've already got out, so, oh, everything's going now. Got out some other bits. Look, I've got some bits to do some decoupage and that. So on that side, that's what's going to happen there, because I've got ink on there that I didn't want. So we'll have pocket on this side, and then we'll go and do something else on the other side, just so you can see that doing something like that, getting some ink on it, ain't the end of the page. I could always just stencil, because that would cover those tiny little pieces, and they are tiny little bits. It's where I need a new sponge, and you know, they start to sort of shed their sponginess, don't they? And that is exactly what happened there. And instead of, if I would have blown it, just a quick, they would have flown away, but I didn't, and I brushed it, and so I brushed some little tiny marks onto there. So you probably can't see them, it's probably only me, but I know they're there now, so we're going to do something else with this bit. Right, so my first choice of things was to stencil. I decided on here, but I've packed the stencils because I have started to pack up some bits and bobs. And yesterday I thought, yeah, I probably won't be doing no more stenciling, and I've packed them. And so I just went downstairs to look and see if they're near the top of things, because by the cupboard under the stairs I've been putting boxes and that I've packed, and I couldn't see them without moving stuff, and it's all heavy, and I've got my sons to help, and so I don't want to now be getting them to unpack stencils, because they'll probably lose patience. Right, now I've got this bit and it's too light for this. I don't really want that bit. I like this bit, and that looks like it's pretty much the exact depth that I want. Yeah, right. It's a little bit wide at the minute, but I do want it wider than I would normally do, because I've got some little bits of blue there that I don't want. Right, is that straight? I'm trying to see. Let's line it up to a straight line there. Get it lined up properly. It does look quite straight. It might just be my eyes. Let's get it lined up there. I'm going to take a bit off just to be on the safe side. I think it was slightly wonky because I'm looking at it now and it looks okay. So before I stick it on, I'm going to stick the lace on first. And I'm going to do it on here and not on my book, because I don't want glue on there as well until it comes to gluing down. Right, I don't want that bit of purple thread either. And I don't want it hanging over too much, because then you can't use it as well, because things will be catching. That's why I didn't want the bit that was too dark, because I want it to be seen. So let's see what the right side is. Yeah, that looks like the right side. I'm sorry if I keep poking my head in frame. With this new camera setup, I am more prone to doing that. I keep seeing that my roots need doing. And my hair just looks like a bushy mess, which if I don't straighten it, that is exactly what my hair is. A big bushy mess. So I've normally got it when I'm doing crafting, when I'm working away at something, I've normally got it either pulled back in a ponytail or in little plaits, just to keep it not like it is. But yeah, the other day obviously I'd been doing stuff all day and I'd been busy here, there and everywhere, and then when I was editing I thought, although I had my hair in plaits, I kept putting my head into the frame, and you could see all the mad bits that are just like sort of wisping out of the plaits into frame, and I thought, oh my gosh, what does that look like? Who has their hair like that? It just looked mental. But yeah, when I said it to my kids, they was like, Mum, you are mental, so don't worry. Everyone knows that. They know you by now. So yeah, right, double check on I've got the right side. Yep. And I just want the little scallop bit hanging off again like that. I think that's really pretty. Whoop! And it's alive. So yeah, I've packed a few more bits. Like I said, my stencil's gone, so we can't use them. I'll tuck that over there because I've got some bits and bobs of thread and fabric that I might want to use. Oh, that's very pretty, and it's very deep, so it'll do well holding. Right, and I want it about there. So I'm going to turn the page round and I'm going to slip something underneath so I can see where the edge of my lined paper actually is, and I'm not sticking onto the page underneath, and that ain't wide enough or dark enough. Right, yeah, I don't want to get glue on these, but I want them there so that I know where I'm going, and I don't push this up too far or down too far. And yeah, where it is very wide, it will keep things quite sturdy tucked in there. So I kind of like how this has turned out, because I weren't going to do a belly band, and yeah, now we've got one that I like very much, so that is cool, isn't it? Right. Back there. And just turn it round, making sure we are properly on the page. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's kind of pretty, and obviously it can have bits and bobs tucked in here anywhere, and so yeah, another job jobbed. Right, so we've got our big pocket there, we've got that one, we've got a tuck straight after. I didn't really want to go that close, but I don't want to do too many because I want to leave it down to the recipient, like I said, to do their own thing in these. So I'm going to have one there. So let's go choose something else a bit different. I don't think that goes with it at all. So this is kind of nice. I was thinking of using this for a tag, but we could have a nice bit of, I'll use this bit, we have a nice bit of decoupage, and no I won't, because then I've got to back it and that. I don't want too much bulk. I know what I'm going to use and I'm just going to grab it. There we are. I knew I just had some scraps of plain white card, and so I'm just going to line up. We'll have a nice deep pocket, and I'll just give it a little mark about there. Sorry, I know that had my head in that time. Right, and I'm going to slip her over to one side, saving the page with that bit. And now I'm hoping that I didn't pack my Mod Podge. Imagine. Oh dear. I don't think I have. Oh, why didn't that press down? That's it, there we go. I need a new blade in there. You see, we're getting a bit frayy. I think I've got one of them that I haven't packed as well. But just going along with if you've got a pair of sharp scissors, it does get rid of it. But I know I do need a blade. Right. So it's going to be our pocket. Alright, here they are. And oh, these are lovely, but they would fit perfectly that way, but I don't want it that way. I might have to use those with something else. Let's get a bit of ink on first while we're thinking. I'm just going to go all round before I round my corners. After I round my corners though, not before. Well, we'll do them this end. And then we ain't wasted any effort. And yeah, I'm not going to gusset every single pocket. But it's good to do a couple, so there's one or two deep pockets. And then the rest will be just fine, because like I said, I've got an idea that the recipient can use these in any way, whether to just journal in, to be their notebook, like their scrap pad or whatever. It's just a prettier version, isn't it, of just a standard bought scrap pad. Right, oh, these are gorgeous, they really are. What's that thing? I'm going to see if it works, because I found that I did have one of these pens that you fill with water after I saw my friend Denise using one, and I found one while I've been packing, and I thought, I don't even remember buying that, but I obviously did at some point, or it came free with something or other. But yeah, it's well handy because you can get more precision with your tearing. There we are. That's so pretty, it really is. And I can have it coming off like that. Right, let's grab that Mod Podge. Yay! I didn't pack it. And have I got a brush? Yeah. Oh dear. Is that? That's a big long thread from something. Right. And I've now got it all around my brush, that's it. So yeah, not much further with the move, we're still where we are. So yeah, we don't seem to be going anywhere until the new year, so yeah, let's see what happens in the future. 2020 will probably be my year of all things new and wonderful, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm just going to dry this off. So yeah, I decided that these are going to be part of my giveaway, and because I am slowly approaching, just plodding along on the way to 300. I'm not getting there quick. I'm not galloping ahead, but yeah, I'm slowly getting there, which is fine by me because I've got my little lovely Cockney Craft family with you guys that are just are so lovely and so supportive and everything. I never ever thought I would get anywhere near where I am with regards to YouTube and Instagram, all those social medias that I never use, that have brought wonderful things in the way of you lot into my life. So I'm just going to give this a little sand. I'm actually gonna switch on the dryer a bit again because this feels a little bit damp, and if I start sanding it, it'll just tear off. Yeah, that feels much better. It's nice and dry. And I'm just going to give it a light sand with the really fine side, just so it blends into our paper with no seam, and that feels lovely. That really does. I'll just go over the top a little tiny bit. But yeah, that seam there, that feels gorgeous. And so, right, there we have that bit. I'm not going to lose this leaf, I really like that. I might have that coming up over here. Or there. I think I'm going to go there. Just using as much of it as I possibly can, because yeah, it's just gorgeous. And I was thinking, I've packed my stencils, and but my stamps are right over there. I can see them. I ain't packed them yet. So I'm thinking of doing, once this bit's done, doing a bit of a background stamp, and then a little bit more decoupage over the top. Right, that's done. I can just trim that. Right, let's follow the curve round from behind. Here we come. Oh. That's better. A little bit more. Right. And we'll just give this little seam here a rub. Yeah, that's feeling a little bit better. It just gives us a nice, flat, even feel. And already I'm loving it. I need a little bit more trimmed off there. That's it. Right, and I'm going to grab this blue, go round the top again, and then I think we'll do a bit of a background stamp right on top. Right, I'm going to use this big one first, and I'm not going to get out my stamp platform. I'm just going to put some ink on and then literally drop or sort of roll onto my pocket. So I'm looking at what I want. Kind of like that, or going midway a bit. No, I think I want that piece there. So I'm just going to use some vintage photo, and it's very dry. I had a problem with ordering my re-inker, and it was supposed to come in days and it hadn't come, and that. This is about a month ago now, and I got in touch with them a couple of times and they just refunded me. They said, oh, it should have been there by now, it's obviously lost. So they just refunded me. But yeah, I've got to order that again, but I haven't really thought about it enough to remember. Right, and see, we've got the flowers and that there. I like that. And then I grabbed a couple of others like that I fancied, or maybe a couple of the insects, but I'm going to come back to those and I'll do them on the stamp platform. I'm just going to dry off this ink so I don't smudge it. Right, so I want to use a bit more of this, and I'm thinking I want to come up here. I'm going to lose this flower because I want it somewhere else. So I'm going to try and cut it out with my little water pen. I don't know how it's going to work, but it did it okay just now, didn't it? So let's see. Yeah. Let's just get the edge away. I've got water on my fingers though, I don't want to get it all wet. I could come up there with that there. So I want to lose this bit as well. Let's cut that off so I can do this piece first, because then I do love that big blue poppy, and there's a couple of other bits I want to play around with. But you see that went on the wonk because I didn't hold it properly. So I want that over that line there. I really do love this napkin. I am going to use a bit of a different one as well. Just go straight up there. Straight down there. Oops. And just gently, and it'll all blend in and be gorgeous by the time we're finished. I really do like it so far. So I do love these flowers. This poppy is just magnificent. I love it. So I'm thinking of that there. I won't do too much at the time. I don't want to get it too wet, and it's nice to keep stopping, drying off and seeing what you're building up with your colour and your stamp and whatnot. So I'll just dry these off. So it's just beautiful. You wouldn't believe as well that it's all coming from different bits and bobs. I've got the other bit of napkin as well, and yeah, I might use a completely different bit to just bring in some more colour. And I want to do another stamp over the top. Just keep building up our layers nice and slowly. That feels lovely. And from here, it really does feel nice. So I'm just straightening it back out so that I can see where I want to stamp next. And I'm thinking that this dictionary definition of the word love, I want to use that. I may even use the clock face as well. I'll get it out anyway and we'll see. I did get out a sheet of insect stamps as well, which I found quite fancy, but I'll do that at the end in a darker colour. Thinking of maybe having the love definition. Got to bring it up a bit. Because I'll probably have something going across the bottom. And so there I am. I'm going to put another magnet down just to keep me in place. And I want to go a bit darker. I used vintage photo first, so I think I'm going to do walnut stain for this definition. And again, some might get covered up, some might be on show. It's just building up them layers, isn't it? That's the fun part. And watching just a plain bit of white card change into something else. And I'm going to do a bit more on the words. Oops. Just to get them a little tiny bit darker. Oh, that's better. Right, I'm going to dry that off. Right, so we've got our nice dark definition of love there. And over here, on our stems, I'm going to put my clock face. And again, I think I'll use the walnut stain. Maybe not as much, we'll see how it looks. And let's have a look. Yeah, it's just faint, you see, you can just make it out, which is pretty cool. I want a little bit more on my numbers there up the top. This is why I couldn't live without a stamp platform, do you know what I mean? Where you can just keep going back in. And Tim Holtz has got one, but I thought it was really overpriced. And you had to, I don't know if they've modified this by now, but if it was a thick stamp or a thin stamp or whatever, you had to take this bit off and flip it round and that, whereas this is just on these springs, and so any height or that it can adjust to, which for me is fabulous, because I don't like things that make work for you where you don't want them. So we're looking, no, I don't want to use that one. I'm going to grab a different one. Right, so I found one that kind of sung to me. I really like the butterfly, and I really like the hydrangea to give it a bit of additional colour. So I'm just going to cut off the one rectangle of it and then put it nicely back away while it's all still neat and foldable, because I know I must seem really sort of fussy about things like this, but it just makes them easier to store, don't it, when you can just pop it back and put it in back where you got it from. Like where I've mine, I've got a couple of these. They need to be taller so I can shut them, but I've got a couple of them just stacked so that it makes a nice sort of they all kept nice and tidy. But I saw in IKEA, they have the napkin mats for like when you've got guests over and things. But I thought, oh, I might buy a couple of them next time I get to IKEA, because I'm going to need to go over there when I move anyway, because I'm going to need new things, and that's the one to go in it if you want to buy a lot of stuff and you want it to be reasonable. I've got quite a few places around here. The B&M's really good for bits and bobs, but what I need for my new desk and things like that, I'm going to have to go to IKEA, because they're brilliant for storage stuff, aren't they? My magnets, notice board, it used to be my son's, and I can't remember if it was red or black. It was when he was going through that sort of gothic-y kind of phase, and he had his bedroom red and black, but he had this big long notice board, and then he didn't want it no more, because it was like when he was at school, and it was like stuff that he needed to remember for school and college and that. But then after all that was done, he didn't want it anymore when he redecorated his room, so then it's become mine, and I got it sprayed white by their dad, who luckily is a sprayer and is still my mate. So yeah, he sprayed it for me, and it's right here next to me, but it's normally got on all my lovely bits and bobs from friends and that. And yeah, it was an IKEA one. It was so reasonable, and it's brilliant because you can buy, like, I've got the pots that are magnetic, and I've got the little other things that are magnetic. They're not all next to me in case I want to use them. But yeah, all my cards from my friends and that here on YouTube and wherever else, I was keeping all them on there, but at the minute they're packed, and so it looks all bare and sorry for itself. Oh, I can't wait to be able to get all my stuff out and that. But what I'm going to do first, oh no, I want him up there, or her up there. What I'm going to do first is paint before I unpack anything, so I might be a bit MIA for a week or so, because I don't really want to unpack and then have to pack all up to decorate and then unpack again. I've got the paint and some wallpaper that I wanted to do this room with, so if I get a little room, I want to do it straight away. Oh, sorry, need little lead for me. The light has just come out. I'll do it in a minute. It still works when it's unplugged, so I'll just dry this off. Right, so I've dried it off, and I've given it a light sand as well, because you don't have to keep watching me sanding, do you? Where's my little pen? There it is. Right, so I don't need much. Let's see if this bit will work if I just take off this. I think I might need it a bit deeper. Okay, that's quite cool there. And I could take it up a tad because I'm having something going across the bottom, so we're getting those bits of lilac in, and then I could save this. Let's see, we'll do this bit first, and if it needs more we'll put another bit. I could even take off the other butterfly, the smaller one, put that in that gap there. And so yeah, with this one we can come up just a little bit, so I can put a little bit of trim across the bottom of this one. Right, and I do think I need something there. Did I have another flower? Oh, my butterfly's got wet. Probably ideal to use it then, isn't it? It's like a sign. Look, it's pretty much torn itself off for me because I put it down in wet. Right, this bit needs to be torn. We don't need all that. Right, and I was thinking that one could just go there. And there she is. Yeah, I like that. I'll dry that off and we're all good to go. Right, it's all dry. I've given it every piece just a really gentle touch of a rub around the edges and that, just so that they're all nice and the paper feels smooth and as one, rather than with loads of lumps and bumps. Sorry, I'm just putting these bits away because I will use those probably still in this project. Not on this piece. Right, and I love that. I'm going to ink around again, this time with the Distress Vintage Photo, just very gently, because we don't want it too dark or too much. There's some straggly bits there. Yeah, I think that's us done with that, and then we get the bottom piece, and then we're good to stick it down. We're just straightening it up from the drying, and we want our bit of trim, don't we? Right, look, oh, I found this. Look how beautiful that is. It's like a silver grey, right? It's so beautiful. I got this in Happy Mail. It's just absolutely fabulous. But if you use too much glue, just the slightest bit too much, these will all gunk up. So what I thought was, I would use a bit of the blue lace that we already used, and while the glue is still on there underneath, because this is lace, we'll be able to just place this on top, and there'll be enough glue that seeps through that will hold that in place, but without matting up the lovely trim, like the little it's like little hair, like getting it's not like little hair. What am I on about? It's just, yeah, I don't want it all gunked up and stuck together. Right, I just lift it up to pull it straight here and there, because it's not. And yeah, while that's still wet, I just want to quickly get it off the tips of my fingers, because that won't help either. And I'm just gonna lay this over the top with the hope of gluing, if the glue is still wet. That's too far, come this way. Oh, it's really difficult. I don't think there's enough glue on there now, like enough wet glue on there now. Right, we'll try. And I think it might need a little bit more, because it took too long. Yeah, it's not going to be stuck enough. So I've got a, oh, it's stuck in the middle. Right, so the very lightest bit there, and lay that down, and I'll have to do the same this end, although that is stuck a little bit better, but I just think at the end. Right, yeah, and I'll just trim that off and we can stick it in the book. And then I want to work on a couple of large tags, and then I'll be back for a little flip through on the next video, and details of the giveaway. So we was keeping the page, weren't we? Oh, look at that, it's really pretty. I like that. Blue. Right. And just a plain bit of white cardstock, and you really can just play about layering up different images and stamps and whatnot, inks, until you get what you want. Right. And like I said, I only want a few bits in here to put some ephemera and that in, because I want the recipient to be able to do that and have enough space to do that, and like take notes and do whatever they want to do. It's going to be your journal, not mine. And it's not a proper full-size journal, is it? It's just a mini one, but it has all been sewn by myself. It's not an altered notebook or nothing. And yeah, I think it's coming along quite nice. I'm really pleased with that. Right, so I'm really happy with how that looks. And I've got a few bits here. These are from the lovely Denise, Ones by Crafts, her Winter's Whisper kit. So I'm going to tuck those in there, because I think the green and the blue goes nice with this. I'll just pop that in there. I've got other bits and bobs from both her kit and Amy, Crafty Cat USA on Etsy, her Winter Wonders kit. So I've got a few elements of both of theirs in here. So I'm going to finish filling it up with the bits and bobs that I've got, because doing this bit has gone on way too long. I was going to do some journaling cards as well, but I think I will finish now, and I'll be back with the flip through and talk of our little giveaway. So I will see you back really soon, probably tomorrow. So have a lovely day, and thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Thank you also for bearing with me as I will be on here less and less, just only for the next couple of weeks hopefully, and then I'll be all sorted out and back to normal, I do hope. So I'll see you very soon, and yeah, I'll give you a lovely flip through and we'll talk about the giveaway. Thanks for watching, love yous, bye bye.